Yeah, so just following on from yesterday's video, I just wanted to refine the sell that I took from the extreme of the 4-hour leg. So if we look at this, firstly, we've got the 4 hours still bearish. We've had the 15-minute tap into the extreme supply zone. We've had a 15-minute choch here, so we've taken the liquidity above these equal highs. We've had a 15-minute choch to the downside. But the issue is with this one is we didn't come all the way back up to retest this zone. So if we play price forward a little bit, we can see that this is as close as we got, but we didn't actually tap into this. So either if you did have your limit set just below the zone, you could have got in. The way we got in yesterday was we used the EQ of this whole buy to sell, which tapped us into here. But that actually meant that we ended up having a 4.3 pip stop loss. So I was looking at this again and waiting to see how else we could have entered this trade with a tighter stop loss. So what we can do is, once we've had this, so we've had our 15-minute chop, we've now also had a failure to print a higher high. And so we've got a failure to print a higher high here. What we can just do is to just look for our entry model again inside here to see if we can catch the continuation down again. So if we zoom in on price here, play price forward a little bit. Okay, so here what we can see is we've had these equal highs here swept. We've got the liquidity there. Okay, and then we have this pivot demand zone. So if we take the whole zone, we have this pivot demand zone here, and we can see as we tap into this, we actually get a reaction and create a new supply zone, which actually then causes the choch. So we don't have choch up until this point. Here we have choch down. And inside here, this is where our reaction to this demand was. And we failed to print a higher high. So this here, this candle, supply candle here is actually our D2S. Okay, mark it like this. We could look at just this wick here. Again, you would still see it there. You could look at it here. You can see it just misses. So if we use the whole pivot, you can see tap in, fail to print a higher high. We are bearish, of course. So inside here, this little shooting star, this is our demand to supply flip. So if we play price forward, okay, let's minimize this from here. You can look at this as inducement. We're expecting some sort of reaction off of this zone. Let's see if we get any sort of follow through. Bigger to the whole pivot. Okay, and now we can see we come back up to this supply zone. So if we were to place limit or market execute here, we could enter with a much tighter stop. We could do 1 pip. Let's just do 1.5, given that AU sometimes has a bit of a spread depending on the broker that you use. Okay. And using the exact same target as this week low here, halfway through, 40 pips. Yeah, something like that. See that now the R&R has jumped all the way up to 26. So really, maybe it was a good thing that we didn't get in here, because now we can enter a continuation with a much tighter stop. This zone is really important, as we can see. So firstly, we're already bearish. We've had a 15-minute chop down. We failed to put in a higher high. We've reacted off of this demand, called creating this supply, and this supply is what actually caused this change of character within this bigger change of character. And so this is really where the market turned and really remained bearish. And we've also built up all this trendline liquidity to be taken through here. And then if we play price forward, see, I wouldn't move my stop loss to break even. What I would have done is taken 25% at 4R. So 4 times 1.5, we just do another of these. 4 is just there. See, we achieved that quite quickly. there's 25% partial at 4R. Get rid of this. I would not move this to break even. We've already covered our risk using the partial. And then we let this run. You can see again, we've just had this internal range liquidity build up through here. We can even see, if we zoom in on here, we swept these highs. Had another choke. Okay, so we could potentially look at entering off this as a continuation. Here we don't really have a flip, or we sort of do if we look at it like this. So this is your demand that caused this sweep. We had a reaction off of this, and it's really the same zone that we would have been looking at anyway. So we can label this as a demand to supply flip. And if you wanted to, you could take a continuation trade off that. I'm not sure we come back up to retest this zone, but if we did, you could enter again off of here. But yeah, as you can see, this does get hit. And really, if you did want to have a tighter stop loss, you could have even just ran this with a 1 pip stop just to cover this high, which was a 40-hour trade instead of a 10-hour trade. It just depends on how risky you want to be. I would personally would have had a 1.5 pip stop, which still leaves us with 27R, which is definitely not bad at all. So yeah, that's just another way to do it. We would have had a 15-minute choke again. We've had a failure to print a higher high. We've had another choke inside here along with a flip. So that's just further confirmation that we can enter with a limit off of this supply zone here. So I just wanted to record that just for myself. If you have any questions, let me know. I'll probably be posting this in the group a little later. Thanks, guys.